Welcome to Jersey's Best Podcast, a weekly deep dive into everything that makes New Jersey spectacular, bizarre, beautiful, sometimes annoying, but always the best. My name is Jeremy Schneider. I'm a food and culture reporter for NJ.com and the Star Ledger, and I'm your host. Quick reminder, you can send episode suggestions, guest ideas, questions, whatever you want, our way at jerseysbestpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us at Jersey's Best Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky. If you enjoy this podcast, unabashed love for the Garden State, you're going to like what we're posting on those accounts. This week, we are shining a light on what many would call the most misunderstood and underappreciated part of the state, South Jersey. Because while the majority of New Jersey is cities, population, cultural centers, and good food, according to one food writer from Montclair, hi guys, they're all in the northern part of the state, there is a whole other world below 195 and to the west of Route 9. Are those the coordinates? See, South Jersey is so mysterious, it's even hard to pinpoint where it is on the map. I'm clearly oblivious to South Jersey. And to be fair, if you ask a South Jerseyan, most of the state is. What could be more Jersey than an inferiority complex inside an inferiority complex? It's basically ego inception. From South Jersey has a vibe and culture all its own, one that deserves recognition and exploration for the rest of the state, myself included. To help us understand the region better, we brought in a South Jersey expert. Andrea Quinn is a podcast producer who produces Chris Gethard's Beautiful Stories from Anonymous People. She co-hosts the very Jersey-focused The Watchers podcast. She was the official South Jersey representative on New Jersey's The World. And most importantly, she is a proud South Jersey native. Andrea, welcome to Jersey's Best Podcast.
Hell yeah. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for making the drive all the way up to Woodbridge, which is Central Jersey, I think, right?
I think we can agree, yeah.
But can we agree where South Jersey is? Even as I was prepping for this episode, I was looking on the map and I'm trying to figure out where it is, and the lines get blurry with the shore, with the whole Central Jersey thing, with the Philly suburbs. Where, for you, you're a South Jersey, where are you from?
So I grew up in Burlington County and Camden County, so right outside of Camden, and then also in like Rancocas, West Hampton, kind of all over South Jersey.
Squarely South Jersey.
Fully South Jersey.
Those sound like South Jersey places to me, even if I couldn't name all of them on a map. But
would love to see you try. Would love to see you try.
Later, but for now, if you're going to define South Jersey, is it the kind of thing that you can like put boundaries on, or is it more of a feel thing? Like a town feels like South Jersey, a town feels like the shore. Where are you at on this?
I used to have a really firm line, and it was if you took a pen and drew a line from Asbury Park to Trenton and then folded it in half. Anything below, for me, was South Jersey. But I think the recognition of Central Jersey as a region, which I also believe Central Jersey exists, has really muddied the waters.
You are. I completely agree with that, and I'm super happy to have another Central Jersey apologist or believer on the podcast. And I think it's essential to the South Jersey debate because, when people say, "Oh, Central Jersey doesn't exist," I'm like, but there are parts of the state that do not fit into North Jersey or South Jersey. But South Jersey, I'm going to go through some counties. Salem County, South Jersey.
South Jersey, obviously.
Cumberland County.
South Jersey.
Gloucester.
Gloucester.
Gloucester. See,
you said it fancy.
It's Gloucester.
Yeah, G-L-A-W.
You can tell I don't spend much time in Gloucester County. Camden County.
South Jersey.
Those are clearly, but
fully. It
gets tricky for me. Atlantic County?
Are we counting the shore towns? So here's the other thing. I think it's almost more productive to divide Jersey horizontally or vertically. Cut that. Don't put that in the podcast. Vertically into three. And it's like west, east, but then the shore towns don't count as east. So that also kind of
that's the trickiness of it all, because Atlantic City, that's very much in southern New Jersey, but that feels to me like kind of the nexus, the crossing point, because it feels like South Jersey, but it's right on the water, so it's got to be on the shore, right?
I think so, but what do people from the shore towns think?
That's a very good question, I think that anytime I talk to shore people, they're pretty adamant that the shore is its own thing, but you also got to talk to South Jersey people about this. That's why you're here. What is it about South Jersey that gets people so riled up? Anytime I've been hearing for years, North Jersey hates South Jersey, and South Jersey hates North Jersey. Why do you think? Why is this such an issue?
I think first, North Jersey. I want to ask you, what do you know about South Jersey? Anything?
I don't know as much as I should.
And you are an NJ.com reporter. You are the people who know the most about the state. And even you guys have a deficit, right?
Yeah, and we have, look, Pete Genovese knows South Jersey better than anyone. I've tried to learn South Jersey better, but I think you're hitting on a really important point. I don't think North Jersey hates South Jersey. I think North Jersey doesn't understand South Jersey, doesn't get South Jersey. I think it's for a lot of reasons. Like I've spent time down there, but usually when I'm in South Jersey, I'm going to the beach. And that's the whole other thing. I've spent time in the Philly suburbs. I've spent time in Haddonfield. I've been to Camden to go to Donkey's Place for the fantastic cheesesteaks. But it's as densely populated as North Jersey is. South Jersey, obviously parts of it are, but there's a lot of farmland, and there are not as many highways. Like you look at a highway map, and up in the northern section of the state, it's like this big spaghetti bowl. It's a maze. In South Jersey, it gets way more spread out, and and I think that probably attributes to a vibe shift down there. I mean, the vibe's got to be different down there than up in North Jersey.
Totally. I think we are purposefully a little more mysterious too. I think we're like the part of Jersey that feels like more like a cryptid, that we kind of don't want to be noticed as much. That's South Jersey. And I think North Jersey, and it probably is a population thing, because you guys are all so crammed together, you don't have that option. You sort of have to be a little more in your face.
It's harder to hide.
Yeah. But I even notice it when I travel. Like I meet people from Jersey all the time. Never are they from South Jersey though.
Really? Okay.
Never. I can't think of a single time I've met somebody from Jersey, south of Trenton, like outside of Jersey.
That's very interesting. So the South Jersey work is mysterious and important.
Perfect.
I gotta say, every time I've been down there, I've enjoyed it. I really appreciate the vibe shift. Because we talked about, we did a Turnpike episode, and even just being south on the Turnpike down like exit 3-4.
All I want to talk about is the Turnpike.
Okay, well, I'm all ears. What's up?
All I want to talk about.
How does South Jersey feel about the Turnpike?
Yeah, because even just the number of exits, right? Like you said, I think in that episode that exit 3 is the most kind of like looked over for you, and that I lived 5 minutes from exit 3 growing up.
Okay.
And so even that sort of distinction of like, I feel like all of the exits on the Turnpike are north, except for like 3 and 4 to me.
And this is another. It's all about just perspective. As far as I growing up in Essex County, even going to Trenton kind of felt like South Jersey to me. But there is a whole. Obviously not as much population down in South Jersey, but there's a whole lot of land. And you get down. So if you're living in Salem County, like for Salem County, freaking Middlesex has to feel like North Jersey, and that's squarely so. So much of our perspective is based on just where we are in the state and what we grew up on, and that leads me to my next question. I know how North Jersey feels about South Jersey. I don't think it's hate. I don't think it's dislike as much as it's just ignorance and just not knowing. How does South Jersey feel about North Jersey? Do you guys hate us?
I don't.
Thank you for not hating me.
I think South Jersey thinks North Jersey hates South Jersey, and because we feel a little bit like South Jersey's gonna get mad at me for this, but like the younger sibling, right? And so because of that, as a reaction, I think we are maybe a little more negative about North Jersey, and I think we think of you as the sort of louder, little more obnoxious, like a little more in your face. I think I said already.
So we're the loud, obnoxious part of the loud, obnoxious state.
Which is saying
I wear that as a badge of honor. But no, that makes sense. And I said this in the open, but it is kind of like an inferiority complex within an inferiority complex. The part of the state that gets overlooked, the part of the state that doesn't have the fancy. It does have great restaurants, but doesn't have the restaurants that are getting all the attention and all the awards.
I think you said in your intro, all the cultural centers and good food and something else are in.
Well, that's how we feel. That's clearly not true. And we're gonna talk about some of those cultural centers, the things that we're missing out in South Jersey. But when South Jerseyans come up to North Jersey, and they do, what is it? Is it kind of like what am I doing here? Like, I guess I'll go there if I have to go up to the Meadowlands or whatever. Or is it like, oh, this isn't so bad? What is the vibe? What's the feeling when you guys are up here?
For me, I think we have everything in South Jersey that you guys have. We just have maybe a little less of it. And so I will, like, if I'm going to North Jersey, it's because of something like there's a tour coming through and tickets sold out faster, or there's sometimes Philly will get skipped, like that kind of thing. So it's like for me, it's like the second best. Like
second
if
best?
I have to, then I will.
It's a last resort. Well, not a last resort, a second resort.
Second resort.
Okay.
Out of two resorts.
And when you do these things,
in that way, I guess it's kind of last.
Yeah, but you seem like a good ambassador for South Jersey. Not only a good representative of South Jersey and its wonder, but also you're not coming up here dismissing North Jersey yet, even if it's not your first choice. And I appreciate that. I think this is the first ever North Jersey South Jersey peace talks. That's what we'll call this. But when you do come up here, whether you're going to the Meadowlands for a concert, it's actually funny. I was thinking about this. The most time I've probably ever spent in South Jersey proper, that like clearly wasn't the shore. I covered a concert in Camden, and it was awesome. I had a lot of fun. And I was like, oh, this is. I think they're building some cool stuff here. I was at the amphitheater in Camden. It was a pretty cool spot.
Yeah,
but
right.
when you're coming up here for these things, and are you enjoying it? I mean, is it second?
I'm also not, to be honest, I'm not coming up here for these things all that often. I was trying to remember the last time I was at the Meadowlands for anything, and I think I saw the Spice Girls reunion tour there, like maybe 20. Was that right? Maybe 20 years ago. I was out of high school, but
so that wasn't MetLife Stadium. That was Giant Stadium.
Probably.
Yeah, man, I want to see the Spice Girls at Giant Stadium. Bring that back. That sounds fantastic.
It was great, and like I would do a second Warped Tour stop every year, a little further north. Usually, though, we would do Asbury. So even then, and I just called that a little further north. It's like,
that's what it comes down to.
Right.
But so you're clearly, kind of open-minded about this. Is as a whole, do you think the region feels that way? Because you say, oh, they think we're the obnoxious older brother. Is it just kind of that, or do they actually dislike? Is it annoyance or disdain?
Oh, I think it's somewhere in between. I think it depends on who you ask, and that it's somewhere in between.
Okay,
for sure.
Okay, interesting. When we talk about South Jersey, what are some cultural touchstones that we might not understand? I have a few in mind here, but I want to hear from the expert right from you before I bring anything up. What are some things that we're missing in South Jersey that in North Jersey we probably don't even think about?
Yeah, a problem I have is that I do kind of think of South Jersey as the center of the universe, and so
you should.
But so I don't know how much of what I consider is like going to be either under the radar or like, no, I totally know. Like I know, obviously, everybody knows about Lucy the Elephant.
But is Lucy the I wore a Margate Dairy Bar today because it's as close as I get to South Jersey in my merch. I have a White House sub shirt too that was in the laundry. Great shirt. Overrated sub. But is
overrated sub, great shirt.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I'm not above.
Underrated shirt, look, overrated sub.
Yeah. So Lucy the Elephant, love Lucy the Elephant, but is that South Jersey?
I'll claim it if it's cool.
I think that is probably a good rule of thumb. If it's cool,
it's really hard for me to let Central Jersey have Monmouth County because I lose Bruce, I lose Brian Fallon, there's a lot of stuff you lose if you're gonna let them have Monmouth County, but I kind of think you have to. And then so also with the shore towns, like, I feel that way too. Okay,
so you get Lucy the Elephant. But a couple things that when I think South Jersey, I think hoagie.
Pretty good.
The obvious one, pork roll. That's done to death. It's gonna come up. But I was when we were doing the slang episode. Do you call people that come to the beach shoobies?
Shooby, yeah.
So that's a South Jersey thing.
I think so. I think that's my co-host on my podcast is aggressively from North Jersey. And
aren't we all?
We were talking about the Shooby v. Benny debate, and I think it depends on what. Like, I wouldn't call, if I were at a North Jersey shore, I think I wouldn't refer to people as shoobies there. They would be Bennies.
Okay.
And then I think if you were to come down south, you would be a shooby then. So it depends on where you are, not where you're coming from to me.
See, wherever I am, I'm a shooby, I'm a Benny. Wherever, right. If I'm at a beach, I'm one of these derogatory terms. I know who I am.
Same. I don't. Yeah.
But that's fine. And I think of shooby as a rocket power thing, but it sounds like it's a South Jersey thing. And then, piney. That's, we haven't even talked about the Pine Barrens yet, because South Jersey is home to not only the Jersey Devil, but also one of our greatest natural resources. And being from the Pine Barrens, I wouldn't call someone a piney, but it feels like that's become their thing.
That's their thing. I think so. Yeah. Unique ecosystem in all the world, not just in New Jersey. I think that's
Tell me a little bit more about that. I have not spent nearly enough time in the Pine Barrens.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that because there are pine barrens, like those kinds of like similar ecosystems around, like up and down the East Coast, but I think specifically are like, I could be totally lying right now, are like mineral makeup and just the way the soil and all is fully unique to New Jersey.
And most pine barrens don't have a devil in them.
I don't think any of them do, except but ours.
Exactly. That's what we got, baby.
That's right.
And it just occurred to me, there's a Sopranos episode that takes place in the Pine Barrens. That's kind of that's the meeting. That's us coming. That Tony Soprano went to South Jersey. Not Tony Soprano, but characters from Sopranos went to South Jersey. If they can do it, so can you.
That's beautiful. But it is saying something that when they wanted to get somewhere sort of like out of the way that nobody really knows about, that it's South Jersey,
where they bury a body.
Yeah,
that's. Woof, but I mean, we're not going to do that. But yeah, it's certainly that's where they were thinking. It was like, hey, if we want to hide a body, we'll put it here. But I mean, is piney like a term of endearment now, or I mean, like where are we at on that?
I mean, so I have piney friends, and who lovingly refer to themselves that way. I don't know if you and I could say it.
No, I'm not.
But
it just sounds bad.
I will say, like, I did grow up Camden County, also Burlington County. My stepdad was a cranberry bogger. Like, I had a pet raccoon growing up.
How did we get this far without these things? Wait, we should just do the top 10 South Jersey things about you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are I think.
Cranberry you had a pet raccoon.
Had a pet raccoon. Yeah.
What was the raccoon's name?
Rocky. That's what you have to name a raccoon.
You know, is having a raccoon common in South Jersey as a pet, or? This
is the other thing too, is that Camden County further south by quite a bit. Burlington County feels more like what I think you people think of.
What do you mean,
South
you people?
Jersey. What you think South Jersey is further north than where I.
Yes. So how so? What do we mean? Like,
for example, I had the raccoon in Burlington County.
Okay.
And we also had chickens that we kept in a converted school bus, like that kind of. They weren't confined to it, but that was their coop, which was in the back of a junkyard. Like, I understand this stuff makes me sound like a full stereotype because I am. I'm fine with it.
It makes you sound incredibly interesting. It makes me wish. Part of me wishes I grew up in South Jersey, because these are things. I mean, I grew up in Montclair. That's a suburb, but even like. People didn't have pet raccoons in North Jersey. People didn't have chickens in school buses. I will say there are multiple chicken like mini little chicken farms in Jersey City.
Yeah.
So
now it's like kind of hipster to keep chickens, but it was just
with egg prices like this. Yeah. What else? I mean, like that's why. What other South Jersey experiences did you have growing up like that?
You know what else I was thinking about? Is it typical to have woods between neighborhoods in North Jersey?
In certain parts.
Okay.
But not, I mean, I wouldn't say in like Bergen County, maybe Morris County, but no, it's certainly less. less woods, and if, in that situation than in South Jersey, I'm guessing.
Yeah, because I spent like a lot of time in the woods, but close to home, and I think you have to like go to the woods in other places.
Does that make sense? That sounds like some real Are You Afraid of the Dark type stuff,
totally.
which I really like.
Fully, yeah, it's the best.
And you mentioned cranberries.
Yeah.
Cranberries, blueberries. Shouts to all the farmers. We're the Garden State, and there's. So much of the gardening and the farming is in South Jersey, yeah, and that's. Yeah. I've had blueberries right from a farm. I think in Hamilton.
It's the best blueberry capital of the world.
Really, like that's one thing. Like I'll talk about all the great delis and pizza spots in North Jersey, but we can't touch those blue. I could eat those blueberries all day.
Yeah.
South Jersey, thank you for your blueberry service. We need you.
You're welcome. Do you know that blueberries and cranberries not only is like South Jersey known for it, but they were first cultivated in South Jersey?
I think I did know that.
Yeah.
And this is me as a food writer not knowing enough about fruit. Is either blueberry are cranberries a hybrid of blueberries and something else, or?
Oh, you already know more than I do.
We're gonna have to cut this because I gotta do more research. If you're gonna talk about blueberries and cranberries, do your research, people. Do your own research. How do you? If you're in South Jersey, what do you call the thing that you like that bready thing you have for breakfast? That you put Taylor ham, egg, and cheese. Begel?
Bagel.
Begel.
Yeah.
Begel.
I'm not ashamed.
No, it should be. No. I'm not saying it's wrong.
It's a
I'm
bagel.
fast.
I laid into it a little hard on that last one,
No,
but yeah, I
love
say
that,
bagel
though.
for sure.
That's so. I mean, if we can't even agree on how to pronounce our favorite like carby thing. That's bagel. And that is that just because of is that the Philly the Philly of it all here?
You made it pretty far into this without bringing up Philly. That was pretty good.
I've been thinking it this whole time.
Yeah, I know. I get it. I think it has to be. I can't even pretend. Maybe the reason I haven't run into lots of people from South Jersey outside of Jersey is because they just often say they're from Philly. I've never done that. I will never do that.
I appreciate that.
But I think it's the Philly South Jersey divide is physically and logistically a lot closer than the North Jersey New York divide. Like, it's really easy, cheap, and not time consuming to get into Philly. And so I think that, and everybody's grandparents, everybody who lives in South Jersey, their grandparents are from Philly. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't think we can help it. And I don't think we should hide it.
No, you shouldn't. And so that's a really interesting point, because there's nothing worse in the world than a New Jersey native who says they're from the New York area. Like, oh, I'm from the New York area, or I'm from New York. No. You're from Essex County, bro. Like, own it. Be proud of it. But so do you think that happens in South Jersey? If you're from Cherry Hill or you're from Camden, you're saying, oh, I'm from Philly?
I never trust somebody who says they're from the Philly suburbs, because that usually means Jersey, and they for some reason don't want to admit it.
Just say it.
And that's not okay.
There's nothing to be ashamed of here, people. You're from Jersey. Do you know how many people are from New York and Philly? That's not unique. That's not cool. You're from Jersey. Be proud. Wear that. Say that shit with your chest.
Hell yeah.
Literally.
Hell yeah.
Man, what is the Philly impact? It always trips me up. I think I was in Cherry Hill or around there for a story. I was writing about a Nepalese restaurant, which was fantastic. And I was at I think like a Target or a Walmart killing time.
Cherry Hill.
And I noticed how much Eagles gear there was and how much Phillies gear there was. And I was so tripped up. I was like, what the hell is going on? I was like, oh yeah, I'm closer to Philadelphia than I am to New York right now.
Yeah, by a lot.
Yeah, by a whole lot. And I think that's one of the really interesting parts of Jersey, that we are influenced by two massive cities. Obviously, one's bigger than the other, and I like the sports teams for one better than the other. Go Giants! But and North Jersey is undoubtedly affected and influenced by New York. What is the Philly influence other than bagel and water ice in South Jersey from Philly?
Yeah, I think I think the sports teams are a really good way to kind of look at it, because like, I grew up a Flyers fan. I'm not really into football, but hockey for sure. And you want to talk shit?
Well, this is gonna come eventually. I'm a Rangers fan, even though we got the Devils, so I'm canceled on my own right.
Yeah, wow, that's brave of you.
Yeah, I gotta keep it. And it's funny, I have friends who get mad at me, like, you're the ultimate Jersey guy. Why don't you like the Devils? I'm like, because it wouldn't be Jersey for me to lie about it.
That's 100% correct.
My dad is a Rangers fan, so I own it. The Devils are in the playoffs right now. I can't say I'm rooting for them, but it's good for New Jersey. Blah blah blah. But you're a Flyers fan.
Yeah, and they all live in Jersey. The skate zone is in Jersey. I used to cut class when I was in middle and high school to go to They used to practice at a place called the Coliseum, which was like this dingy little place in Voorhees, and we would cut school and go watch the practices there in Jersey. And so they're as much to me a Jersey team as they are a Philly team. If not more so. They all live here. So like.
And Philly sports fans, like, I don't like any of your teams, but I respect the hell out of you as fans, because Philly, like, as a Giants fan, as a Knicks fan, as a Rangers, whatever, your Philly fans are crazier than all. Like, y'all are absolutely nuts, and I feel that bleeds into the South Jersey of it all.
Totally, yeah. And there's a reason, like, I think we can get so granular about the accents, and I think probably on this podcast is a place to do it. But South Jersey, like, you can pinpoint a person by their accent, like, on how important Philly is to them by how much they sound like they're from Philly, whether they actually like grew up in Philly or not. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. So someone who
kind of take it on, I think.
So give me an example. How does someone who's trying to hide it? How do they sound?
Someone who's trying to hide it.
Or maybe they just slip out occasionally.
I think I've got an accent that you can tell that I live near Philly, but not in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think my accent's that thick, but there are things like hoagie will come up. Bagel is one. So maybe I'm an example of that. Wow.
But if someone's really about that life, if they're really Philly, or they're like, what are they?
You're not gonna get me to do an impression.
Oh man, I don't think I mean,
it's tough. It's so specific. I mean, there's like a whole little industry of people on like TikTok and Instagram doing the like South Philly characters, and none of them get it exactly right because it's so put on, and it's a little more subtle than that.
There was this one comedian and we're gonna try to get him on the podcast because he's hilarious. He did this thing during COVID. It was like South Jersey boyfriend like through the pandemic, and he was like, "Yo, go Birds, huh? I got some ronzani, got some pork roll," and it makes me laugh and fly Eagles fly, and it's it's wild to me to think that a whole state has such wild. You have teams, fans of rival teams, so many rivals living in one state, and obviously there's the divide. It's far from, but it's still all in one state, and that's wild to me. But I love the accent. I think it's, and I also find it fascinating when people refer to Philly as the city. Which I'm not offended by it. It's just like that's something like that because like you said, that is the influencing. That is the city. Mm-hmm. Unless, do people call Atlantic City the city in South Jersey or not really?
Not where. Yeah, I've never heard anybody do that. That might be. I wonder what the shore towns would say though. Yeah. They might.
The shore. We gotta where the shore lies in all this. We'll have a big. We'll break up the map. Maybe that's another episode. We'll do an actual breakdown of the map in Jersey and see what's what. But speaking of the map, speaking of the divide, do you think it's getting better or worse? I feel like I'm feeling more South Jersey pride than ever. Maybe it's just because people on social media, I'm getting funny TikToks from down in South Jersey. But what is the status of this piece of cord, of this divide? Is it better? Is it worse? And what is there something that can make it better?
Beautiful question. I think it's both. I think because of social media and that kind of thing, we're more connected, and so that sort of blurs it a little bit. I keep going back to the Central Jersey thing. I think that also puts a sort of a bigger divide between us, right? But then because of that, I think some of us have the instinct, I know I do, to double down on, for me, like the South Jersey pride and being so firmly from South Jersey. And I that's probably true for North Jersey too, right?
I think so. I honestly got to say, I think there are plenty of people, they kind of conflate North Jersey pride and Jersey pride, which is messed up because it's while there is so much population up there, while there is, and so much of the state's attention, goes up there, that does not fully represent the whole state. I really do think that like the best way for someone the best way to bridge this gap would just be like, all right, you're in North Jersey and you think North Jersey is so much better than South Jersey. Go to South Jersey for a day and just experience them. And if they were gonna do that, let's say, all right, I'm a North Jersey devout who wants to get a baptism in South Jersey. Take me through a South Jersey. Like, what am I doing? How are you convincing me? Like, where are you sending me? Because what are we missing on like the places, the things?
We're probably going to Camden County, and maybe that's because maybe it's because it's where I grew up. I tried to fix it and then still said it wrong. Maybe that's because it's where I grew up, but it's also, I think, has the most of everything I love about South Jersey in it. So if we're gonna do food, we're probably gonna go to Haddonfield or Collingswood. I think it's NJ.com right here. Obviously, you guys know better. Of course, than anybody.
But hey, I'm a North Jersey guy who goes to write about restaurants down there. You're from there.
But the fact that you guys get it right is like
we do. We got Pete. Pete Genovese ain't getting that wrong. No, but
that's true.
But what are your and I'm sure there are. What are the spots that you think?
I'm trying to think of some less obvious
or
ones.
What are the?
That's what I mean. Is
but even if they're obvious, what are the good ones?
Like if we're going for pizza, Bricko. There used to be a place, Pizza Crime was open for a little while.
Yeah.
It's gone now, right?
They're in Philly doing pop-ups right now, but they're talking about coming back to South Jersey for farmers market pop-ups.
That rules. I didn't know that.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
NJ.com. We wrote about it, baby.
That's the best. any diner is still going to be the best. I think North Jersey diners, I think they're often a little too much. They're like doing a little too much. And I think a South Jersey diner is a little more just like standard. It's going to be solid. So I would probably bring somebody like you to one of those just to prove that.
Which one?
My favorite diner closed last year. It was a Starview Diner in Somerdale, and it's gone. But there's a Legacy Diner up the road that's great. Those are my two favorites. But then probably like the obvious ones are going to be like, you know, Angelo's in Glassboro. I went to Rowan, so that's like a spot for me. And then after food, we've got, I love our little theaters. I love Landis Theater. I love the Pittman Theater. I think my favorite thing about Haddonfield is to go visit the Hadrosaurus statue, Hattie.
I've never been, but I want to go.
It's just a statue. It's so funny. There's the site where, so it's the first dinosaur skeleton, like complete dinosaur skeleton found, I think, definitely in the States, maybe in the world, in Haddonfield. And there is like a little plaque on a little side street that marks the spot, but it's not fancy at all. And there are always little plastic dinosaurs there, which I think is so cute. I don't know if it's people leaving them for their kids or like how that happened, but they're always there. I think it's very sweet.
That's adorable.
It's really cool.
And I mean, any more like beautiful places? I mean, I know there's a bunch of parks. There's places to go hiking and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and the Camden County, I love Cooper River. Mm-hmm. I think that's a lovely, manageable walk, and it's near stuff, so you can, again, pop over. And I'm not as much of an outside person, though. So if you want to ask me, I grew up going to Red Bank Battlefield. Mm-hmm. Like, I thought that was always really cool as a kid. It's right on the water. And I'm trying to think. What else is good? Any farmer's market. Mm-hmm.
I love a farmer's market.
Yeah.
Now, the farmer's markets down in South Jersey, I mean, I went to Kate Nell's for the Columbus Farmer's Market. That's a whole other vibe.
Yeah, so I say farmer's market. I was thinking more like, but we could talk Columbus all day. I grew up, the cranberry bogger stepdad of mine was also a little bit of like a junk guy. And so we would sell a lot of junk at those tables as a kid. So yeah, Kate Nell's for sure. But any sort of pop-up market, that's, I was wondering, when you sort of sent over the notes and you said any local events, and I was like, does North Jersey have every weekend when the weather gets nice, every town have some sort of festival all the way through the winter? It's like farmers markets all summer and then fall festivals all fall. Every town has one. We
definitely have farmers markets. I don't know about festivals.
Where do you get your produce from?
The produce.
Does it come from South Jersey?
Yeah, of course it does. Okay. We're not. Look, I'm not growing corn in Hudson County. I'm good on that. No, but I would love to get the actual. I mean, go to a South Jersey farmers market. And I mean, I can't imagine the produce is absurdly fresh and wonderful. I mean, I'd get the blueberries there and they'd be gone before I got to my car probably. What is the most South Jersey thing someone could do? I'm sorry. What is the most North Jersey thing someone could do in South Jersey that would like stop? Like it would stop the room. Be like, I can't believe you're outing yourself as a North Jerseyan.
This is so when you said you don't know as much about South Jersey as you should, I think this is where I reveal that I don't know as much about North Jersey as I should.
Or vice versa. Is there a South Jersey thing that you think would be that someone would say up here or out of North Jersey that would be like really like immediately outing yourself?
Is it having a pet raccoon? Was that the thing?
That might do it pretty quick.
Yeah, I think anything like that. I think too. I think I'm somebody who always feels like I'm in a hurry, and then I get to North Jersey, and I'm like, oh, that's just compared to anywhere else in the country. North Jersey's on a whole other level, and so maybe it's that in both directions. Like, I'm like, oh, I really need to kind of step it up when I'm up here speed-wise, and maybe you guys need to relax a little bit.
Is that like driving or just like walking around? Really? Okay.
Small talk, chit-chat, anything like that is, I wonder if, does that feel like something that is more South Jersey? to you because I hate it. So maybe it's just me.
You hate small talk?
Yeah. Or like at a store, if somebody is like taking time ahead of me, maybe that's a little bit of North Jersey bleed over though.
I mean, for me, if you're in line at the deli, and it's this fine line because you want, on one hand, we love these places and we know the people and like, you know, it's like have that familiarity, but also if you're holding up the line, like if you're asking about someone's kids while I'm trying to get my sandwich, like I know you're doing something nice and wholesome, but in the back of my head, I'm like, come on, man, I need to get out of here. I need to boom. But we very much have that type A boom boom get to the next thing vibe up in North Jersey. I think that someone, and to flip it, if I was down in South Jersey, I'd probably stick out like a sore thumb.
Well, that's what I wonder is that like I think I'm somebody who's boom boom in a hurry, and then I'll bet if I were in line in North Jersey, you'd be behind me stomping your foot. You know. So
the vibe, the pace is definitely a thing. For me, if you're in North Jersey, a way to prove that you're from South Jersey, if you call it pork roll, that's pretty basic.
Yeah, absolutely.
The bagel thing, if you're an Eagles fan, dead giveaway. Because I mean, if you're from North Jersey rooting for the Eagles, then I mean, you better have some family from South Jersey or something, because there's some bleed over. But it's pretty clearly Giants and Jets territory up here. And we didn't even talk about water ice.
I was just gonna say, so much of it is food stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there's a few things in South. I mean, you don't really get water. I mean, you can get Ritas up here, but we don't call it water ice. We just call it Italian ice.
And I think even in South Jersey, like the Rita signs say Italian ice. They don't say water ice.
I got to research that. That's interesting.
I think that's true.
Huh.
But I don't think of Ritas. I would never.
Okay,
in a million years, I would never go to a Rita's.
Why not?
Because there are real water ice places in South Jersey.
How does a South Jersey water ice compare to Rita's?
I mean, it doesn't, right? Like I can't imagine a universe where I opt to go to a Rita's over like a water ice factory, or for me it's like Water Ice Factory, which is a spot in, I guess technically Somerdale, I don't know. I grew up 5 minutes away and I'm not sure, but Camden County, or in Anthony's, which is also in Camden County. Or there's a place, I don't even know if it's still open, it's been a long time, but I think it was called Mueller's, but we all called it Red Rooftop because it had a red rooftop. Of course, why not? Would never pick a Rita's.
And so they don't compare.
Right.
I've been to Rita's. I've never really had great water ice. What is the experience of great water ice in South Jersey like?
I think it's what am I trying to say? It's more like, I think it's closer to gelato. Okay. When it's really good.
So creamier?
For sure. You can tell when it's a syrup versus when it's something fresh. I think I'm also thinking now, have you had Yum Yum? I
have not had Yum Yum.
Wow.
I can't believe it took this long to get. What? Tell us about Yum Yum.
I mean, you got to get Yum Yum. I think there are two places you can get at Leo's famous Yum Yum. It's even closer to. It's almost impossible to describe. I think the way I hear you guys talk about the Cosmos is what I think Yum Yum is probably closer to.
So like very fresh,
creamy, but not dairy. It's just unlike anything.
And where is it exactly?
Leo's is boy. We should look it up because I don't know. And then you should. Is it Woodstown?
It is in Medford, it says?
Medford. Okay, yeah, Medford. That's right. Yeah, it's in Medford.
Yeah, I had this the South Jersey expert.
It's one of it's
Google.
Yeah, it's one of those things. There's so many places where like I could drive you there for sure, but to say the town, I don't know.
Oh no, absolutely. And the lines get blurry. The towns, the regions. If there was a Real Housewives of South Jersey, and I can't say I watch too much of that stuff, but I know Jersey's known for it. What would the tagline be, and how many fights would there be in Wawa parking lots?
Many, and all of them would be in a Wawa parking lot. I think I've seen more fights in Wawa parking lots than any other place in my life.
Why do you think that is? Are people going there when they're drunk, or is it people? I mean, are people in a rush, or?
Well, it's both. So put drunk people in the same place as people in a rush, and then also the only parking lots that are categorically consistently worse designed than Wawa parking lots are Trader Joe's parking lots.
Oh yes,
and they're
this is a North Jersey, South Jersey.
Purpose. This is where we can come together.
Yes, because the The parking lot at the Trader Joe's in Clifton makes me never want to go there again.
Well,
Like my blood boils because it's just so poorly designed. And this happens in South Jersey too, huh?
Yeah, but I think that's on purpose. Not to get into Trader Joe's because it's not Jersey, but I think I read that they're designed that way on purpose to keep people moving and to feel like there's more demand than there is. And I think Wawa is just, for some reason, poorly designed. I don't think it's a strategy for Wawa, but it is, for some reason, all of the worst parking lots in South Jersey are Wawa parking lots.
Interesting. So that's where all the fights would be there. If the show had, what would the tagline be?
It would be like, it's something about like, there's a new devil in South Jersey.
I like that a lot.
Right.
That works.
This one's got, I guess the Jersey Devil has claws too.
It's like you thought the Jersey Devil had horns.
Yeah, there exactly. Yeah.
I mean, Stassi from what's that? I shouldn't know this. What's the show on Bravo? Oh, Vanderpump. Yeah, see, I am the devil. I am the Jersey Devil, and you better and don't forget it. There we go.
That's right.
Boom.
There, you nailed it.
Boom. All right, Bravo. Check better be in the mail. I'm gonna wrap this up. But we have another segment. But the last question is: South Jersey better than North Jersey? And be honest, and this is like make the case. And I'm really I don't even need to be convinced. I just want to hear it. What are we missing about South Jersey? What don't we understand about South Jersey? And what makes South Jersey better if it is?
I mean, I have to say yes because I have to, and also because it's true. And it's, again, we've got all the great food, the great entertainment, great music, all of that. We've got, I think, some of the best shore towns, if we're counting the shore as South Jersey.
What's your favorite shore town?
Which I grew up going to Wildwood and Ocean City.
That does have a South Jersey vibe. Like that feels like I'm at the South Jersey beach when I'm there.
Yeah, I was listening to you talk about roller coasters. Have the Great White in Wildwood?
I've not been on it. I'd like to. Is it fun?
I haven't. I mean, I'm too old for a roller coaster now. I think I
thought I was too.
I think my heart might actually stop at this point. But the Great White at night, it goes under the boardwalk, and if you can time it with fireworks, and then you're like under the boardwalk, and then you come. It was truly like that's the best thing about being in South Jersey. I think is that moment on that roller coaster.
That sounds lovely.
It's the best. It's the best. I forget why I was talking.
No,
about that. We've got great shore towns.
Great shore towns.
But then also a little peace, a little quiet, little space. Also, I'm obsessed with the Jersey Devil. It's my favorite thing about New Jersey, and he's ours.
Does it bother you that the Devils play?
Yeah.
Wait, so you're a Flyers fan?
Yeah.
And you hate the Jersey Devils. Right?
Well, but they're like, this is okay. I want to talk about this. I'm
Please.
so glad you brought this up. They're not themed the Jersey Devil though, right? Like even that tail is not a Jersey Devil tail. That's like a cartoon Satan Pitchfork devil.
It's the New Jersey Devils, and it's. I mean, they're not the Jersey Devils.
Right. What are they doing?
But I think, and look, I say this as a Rangers fan. I think the Devils, the way they've branded, is brilliant. I think it's. I think it's a beautiful uniform.
That's good.
Oh yeah, no, I give it up to them because I mean. The colors are nice. The NJ logo, like you couldn't pay me enough to wear Devils gear. And I don't care how cool it is.
There's not a number. You couldn't pay you enough. I'll bet they could.
I don't think that. I have ethics.
Name your price. Name your price.
$1 trillion. No, but the Devils. It's such a great combination of a state getting its nickname right because the Jersey Devil being the Devils and then the logo being NJ with the horns with the tail and like I don't know how canonically accurate it is to the right. Jersey Devil, but I think it's the happy medium.
It's stolen valor, actually. Now that I think about it, it's actually worse. What you're saying about it is why it's bad because they're like they're using the Jersey Devil phrase, but then. So which is ours, that's South Jersey's thing, but then pulling away from it enough to make it more marketable to people outside of. And
okay. I disagree, but I see what you're saying.
Isn't the Jersey Devil coaster doesn't it also do that?
The Jersey Devil coaster in Jackson, which South Jersey?
Perfect question.
Yeah. I owe it because it's not the shore, and it feels like I gotta say it kind of feels like the beginning of South Jersey to me.
It's so fuzzy there.
Yeah, it's very fun. But the Jersey Devil coaster is awesome, and I think it's cool that the park has a roller coaster that's not just like Superman or Wonder or Joker. It's the Jersey Devil coaster, which and the Jersey Devil they have, like the statue is scary. Like,
but is it scary like hooves, wings,
No.
horse head?
No.
Not the Jersey Devil.
So what are we okay?
doing?
We haven't talked. I mean, we're gonna do a whole cryptid episode, but cryptids episode that's coming. But real quick, I mean, what are we getting wrong about are we getting stuff wrong about the Jersey Devil as a South Jersey?
I mean, that alone,
Is the Jersey Devil scarier than we're giving him credit for?
Then the cartoon pitchfork. I'm picturing him with like a little diaper for some reason.
They have a mini little devil.
Okay, is that what I'm thinking?
Yeah,
of?
he's not on the main coaster.
Okay.
There's no devil. I needed a diaper on that ride, but not the devil.
the real Jersey Devil that exists. I just come out as a full lunatic who believes that it's actually real. Is part horse, leathery wings, hooves, tail, like horrifying. Can fly, like doesn't need to carry a pitchfork around because he comes equipped with his own weapons.
Doesn't play hockey, I guess.
Could if he wanted to.
How would he feel about ice?
He's got the claws, so he could probably dig in. He's all terrain. I don't think he can do whatever he wants.
The Jersey Devil is all terrain.
Whenever he wants, wherever he wants.
So I mean, and I guess you got to say the Jersey Devil existing is definitely a big old check in the South Jersey is better category, huh?
Yeah.
I gotta say, I didn't come into this expecting not to be convinced, but you've done a good job. You got me wanting to explore some things. I want some yum yum. I want to see the Hadrosaurus statue. I want to go for some walks. I want to hit a farmer's market.
You gotta.
Andrea, this has been so much fun. Before we let you go, you need to complete the Garden State Gauntlet, a rapid fire series of questions that this week will be all about South Jersey. Shocker. Are you ready?
I'm so stressed about this.
Don't be stressed.
Okay,
You're gonna crush it. Number 1, favorite South Jersey town.
Collingswood. It's an obvious answer, but it's true.
What about it?
I thought this was, I mean, it's got everything. I love it. It's like 1 square mile and it has everything in it.
Favorite South Jersey food?
Is Boost a food? We didn't
even talk about Boost,
but
man.
It's Boost.
Tell us a little
baby.
bit. Boost is, I mean, the delicious soda that you can only really get down there, right?
Yeah, it's not even fair to call it a soda. It's a flat soda-like syrup that comes in like a moonshine kind of jug. You mix with water and drink it when it's really cold, and it's so good. You can get it as a slushie at select convenience stores. It's kind of only in Burlington County, though.
Yeah, it's hard to find, right?
Yeah.
It's delicious.
It's the best.
Favorite South Jersey slang word?
Favorite South Jersey slang word? Wow, I really froze. Edit this out.
We got you, don't worry.
Slang is hard because the only one we really have that's slang that isn't like I say hoagie, I say bagel. Do they count?
Yeah, I can count.
Okay, any of those, I guess. But then I feel like I have to bring it up even though I don't say it because there are a lot of South Jersey white folks using John, and that's like a word for black people who live in Philly, and it's their word, and like I think that they should get to keep it. It's so unnatural.
It's definitely not a Jersey thing.
Yeah, and
we've discussed that previously. It's a great word. It's not ours.
Yeah.
Favorite South Jersey celebrity?
Wow, really good question. There are so many who I love so much, and I'm so obnoxious about it. I think people forget or don't know that Bruce Willis is firmly South Jersey. And I think that's cool as hell.
He's from Salem, right?
Yeah. I think he's from. Is that right? Where's Carney's Point? I think he's from
Carney's Point.
Carney's Point.
Yeah. I love this is the first time we've talked about Bruce Willis on this podcast.
Whoa.
I love Bruce Willis.
Yeah, he's the coolest.
Armageddon is my favorite movie of all time. Bruce Willis, thank you very much. Harry Stamper, an American hero.
I think it's cool that we could do this forever. It's the Gauntlet, but I think it's cool that Kelly Ripa's from South Jersey. They're all my favorite. Favorite
South Jersey band / musician?
That's so tough. So if I get to keep Monmouth County, it's Bruce and it's Brian Fallon, Gaslight Anthem.
Man.
But Brian Fallon, because I think Gaslight Anthem is actually New Brunswick, but they're 1 and 2. But then Man Overboard's from South Jersey, and I love them. They're probably my top 3 South Jersey.
I gotta say, so I mean, we've discussed the boundaries and all. I think Bruce being claimed by South Jersey. I mean, I think the whole state claims him, but I don't think of Bruce Springsteen as South Jersey at all. But I mean, he did write a pretty good song called Atlantic City. So
come on, how are you going to argue that?
Exactly.
Maybe for me, maybe his best song, and it's called Atlantic City.
It's right up there. It's a great one. I'll give you in the interest of the gauntlet. I'll give it to you. Favorite South Jersey highway.
Oh God, they're all bad. 42 is the one I've spent the most time on. Is that? I also don't know what the difference is between some of these. But
they all kind of blend together.
You guys called the Black Horse Pike Route 168 in an episode. I've never called the Black Horse Pike by its number. It shocked me to hear somebody say that.
It's just Black Horse Pike?
You know what? You know what the most North Jersey thing, let's go back. The most North Jersey thing you could do in South Jersey is call the Black Horse Pike Route 168.
Well, there we go.
Unbelievable.
I don't think I could point out on a map even, so I mean I could. But favorites? Do you have a favorite South Jersey mall?
Yeah, it's the Echelon Mall. It's called the Voorhees Town Center now. I haven't stepped foot in it in years, but I had 10 of my first jobs were in that mall. Echelon Mall for sure. What
is one thing South Jersey does better than North Jersey? Just one.
I was going to say. Celebrate the Jersey Devil correctly. The
NHL Devils are not doing it right. What's one thing North Jersey does that you wish South Jersey did or had? Is there anything that makes you jealous of North Jersey?
I think you guys just have more options. I could say that. So
it's denser, more. Yeah, we got that. That's a wrap on this episode of Jersey's Best Podcast. Andrea, thank you so much for joining us. Andrea, where can people find you and find your work? Where can they follow you? Where can they listen to you, et cetera, et cetera?
Thank you for having me. This was super fun. I think the only thing really for folks who are listening to this that they might also vibe with is the Watchers Podcast, which I co-host with my friend from North Jersey, Jody. Her last name is Bergen County. We're at Watchers Pod NJ. We mostly cover Jersey-focused TV and media, though we've sort of branched out. But if you're like a Gen Xer or a millennial in New Jersey, you'll like that podcast. And I'm at AQ, Andrea Q everywhere.
Fantastic. Thank you to our audio producer, James Shapiro, our video producer, Dwayne Uzaro, our executive producer, Bobby Olivier. Thank you to Schmutzadells for our theme song. If you have any questions, episode ideas, guest suggestions, anything like that, email us at jerseysbestpodcast@gmail.com. Remember to like, subscribe, leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts, and please consider subscribing to NJ.com. There's a link on our episode notes. New Jersey needs high-quality journalism, and our journalists need you. Tune in again next week for the latest episode of Jersey's Best Podcast. And remember, Jersey forever.